Testing 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Let me see something. Okay, so that's on. Let's just do this. Boop. Let's take that down a little bit. Let me mute that. Okie dokie. All right, let's do this, Fluid. Let's go to Andromeda. Anybody that tunes in, what I'm doing is I'm using a smart telescope, and it's been so cold down in South Carolina. I could deal with it, but telescopes don't do that well when it's 20 degrees and stuff like that. Some do. Smart telescopes don't. So I was waiting for a clear night. So what I want to do is I have the telescope going for about 15 minutes, so it's acclimated to the weather. So now I'm going to let it image Andromeda. Now, the last time I was testing it, I let it run for like minutes or so. Tonight, I'm going to just let it run. Okay. And I'm going to see something, how I go full screen here. I guess like this. I'll wait till that's done enhancing, and then I'll go full screen. And we'll see. Now, this will take a while. This ain't going to be something that happens like right away, because it's going to take image after image after image. It's going to take 10-second images and stack them as it goes. Autofocus. Let's see. Come on, baby. Let me see something here. All right, so that looks a little snowy there, but it'll be better than that. Now we'll see. I'll go full screen to get that other stuff off. Now, just so you know, let me see who said that. When you see these beautiful photos that people post, trust me, they wish they could tell you that they're just taking a photo and it looks beautiful like that. It always starts off, Usually the photo, you don't see anything, unless you're in a border one sky. But it's time. So now what it's going to do is, you'll see what's going to happen. Let me get myself a little smaller there. I don't need myself so big. You know what's going to happen is it's going to take more pictures, so it'll get bigger and bigger. You'll see. Oh, let me just see something I forgot. High vibes, what's going on? That's why I said, oh man, if somebody's chatting, I'm not even looking. Sorry. Make this bigger on this side. All right. How you doing with high? Yeah, I'm playing with it. I just want to see something here, though. Like, see, there we go. See how the another little patch comes in. It takes time, but as it goes, it just gets clearer and clearer. You'll see, watch, another little patch will pop in. It's like Mosaic. I always have a problem pronouncing that. A Mosaic. So what it's going to do is it'll keep doing that, taking more and more, and it kind of like stitches them together so we can get a fuller picture of Andromeda. And every time it takes an image, it's usually taking an image every 10 seconds. And let me see. This will take a little while. Another one will pop in. And also, you'll see that it stays like that for a while, because what happens is, as it's taking images, if, let's say there's wind and it gets a little blurry or something, the last image it took, it won't stack that one. It's only going to stack and include solid images. I honestly didn't want to do Mosaic. Oh yeah, and it's clear. It'll get clearer and clearer. You know, I think what's happening is, even though I have it on a pretty solid tripod, when I was coming in, I felt a little gust of wind. Sometimes that'll happen as it's taking an image in between that. And these are only 10-second exposures. So I could up it, but I don't want it to take forever, because doing Mosaic mode, I can't pronounce that freaking word. It takes time as is, like this. So sometimes that wind gust, like I was saying, but wind, as in the middle of taking an image, wind gust, it analyzes the image that it just took, and if it feels there's any kind of shake in there, blur or whatever, it discards that last image. And it keeps going and going until it keeps getting solid images. Let me see what we're up to. Yeah. And what do you mean, what is the brightest spot? What do you mean? Like, what is the brightest spot right there that we're looking at? Yeah, this keeps failing. I'm going to cancel this. Hold on a second. All right, we're going to go into here. We're going to do this. We're going to stop that. I'm sorry. My mouth is right over the microphone. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm sorry. That bright spot, that's the Andromeda Galaxy. Okay, so that's what we're going to go to. We're going to go to, that's M31. It's we're going to give it one more shot and see if we could capture this. I'm not going to mess with the settings too much. But that's, like I said, that's the Andromeda Galaxy. That is what they call our twin. Our twin that's going to be slamming into us in a few billion years. Let me see something here. All right, so now we'll go like this. And we'll just let that, you'll see, watch. So that bright spot is like in the center of the Andromeda galaxy, which is probably a black hole just like there is in the middle of our galaxy. But in a few billion years, they're going to go collide. You know, because space is so vast, so big, that these two galaxies, when they collide, the distances of stars are so far apart that although it'll make a mess, there's a possibility that not one star from either galaxy hits each other. The chance of that happening is, I don't know how low it is, but it can happen because a light year is a 5.88, nearly 6 trillion miles, one light year. And the Milky Way galaxy is 100,000 light years across. Holding billions of stars. Brandon, what's up, my brother? Good to see you, bud. I just figured it got a little warmer tonight. It's like 46 degrees out. It sounds weird saying that down south, but it's been every night. It's been going into the 20s. So the telescope, it struggles sometimes when you get really everything. So I figured tonight I'm going to throw this up and just let it run. And let's just see how this stacks this. I'm going to put a ticker across the bottom or something. So when I'm not on camera, because I'm not going to stay on camera, at least people know what the heck they're looking at. So far, that's only 1 minute of exposure. High vibes. Yeah, yeah, I plan on doing it a much different way. Like I said, I've been wanting to do this since I did it a few weeks back with the moon. It's just the temperature's been holding me down, and I ain't gonna mess up my equipment. But that's what I like. I like doing this. That's why I like sharing it. And the other thing I have coming is just, let me tell you something. If you want to get into astrophotography and anything with space, you don't have to spend a lot of money at first. But after you start doing it for a while, you want to upgrade and it gets costly. So I have another telescope on the way. I have a 6-inch Dobsonian here, but I have my eyes on a nice 14-inch Dobsonian, and the Dobsonian won't cost that much. But the other stuff, what I want to attach to it and do, that's where it starts piling up. And it could become a very expensive hobby, but once I get my house and it's in a dark sky area, as dark as possible, at minimum Bortle 3, that's when I'll really start doing a lot. Wait, let me see, Brandon. Yeah, that's what they do, Brandon. There's always doom and gloom and fear and all this crap. I get away from that. But high vibes, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty cool. You know. But let me see. How long is this exposure? This is only a minute and a half, minute and 40 seconds. So I'm going to let that run. I'm going to try to figure out how do I create a. I haven't used this in so long. And OBS is simple. Let me see something. Add. Filter. Let me see. Add text. And let's see. Live. Okay. I'm sorry that I'm talking to myself out loud. I apologize. Oh, I don't like doing this crap. Just trying to add scrolling text. Oh, okay. What's the darkness called? Bortle 3. All right, so there's a scale. It's called the Bortle scale. It's the light pollution. Um, Light pollution scale, basically, what it is. And there goes from Bortle 1 through Bortle 9. Bortle 9 is the worst. That's when I lived in New York. New York was a Bortle 9. Sometimes if you're out near the beach, you might get a Bortle 8. But it's just the worst because there's just too much light pollution. And being a mile or 5 miles away from the city doesn't matter. It's too much haze in the atmosphere. So you may get a crisp night that you see a bunch of stars and it looks that great, but it's not. So I was always disappointed. If you go upstate New York, now there's parts of upstate New York that are in a Bortle 9. You could get, and I'll explain it right now because I'll get ahead of myself. So when I Bortle 9 in New York, every scale, the lower you go, the less light pollution there is. All right. So basically, Bortle 9 is like I said in New York. You see some stars and wow, great, right? Bortle 1. See, I've been to a Bortle. I haven't been to Bortle 1. I'm going to get to Bortle 1 within 2 months. But Bortle 1 is the type of sky that you ever see when you see that's called, that's a dark sky. That's when you ever see people like even a video or even a picture of somebody standing and behind them you see the whole galaxy and all the stars and everything. You basically look up, you won't even need a telescope. You could just look up and have a light show above, because there's zero light pollution. Okay. Bortle 2 is a beautiful, it's as close to Bortle 1 as it comes, right? Bortle 3 has some light pollution, but you can still see the Milky Way with the naked eye, and take wonderful images, which I'm going to be going down to a Bortle 3 very shortly. Yes, I'm in an astronomy club. And I'll be going down there taking taking this with me and my other telescopes and cameras and all that, and taking some nice pictures. Hopefully, be able to do it live. And but if you look real quick, You see how little by little it's getting sharper and sharper? It'll get much sharper as it goes, you know, because it'll keep stacking them. What's the darkest called? No, the darkest is Bortle 1. Bortle 1. Bortle 9 is the worst. Where I moved down here, Bortle 4. But actually, with everybody that's been moving down and everything, I think it's more as a Bortle 5. But if I drive 40 miles south, it goes to Bortle 3. And if I go west, I don't know, maybe 100 miles, I could probably get to 2. There was some damage from the hurricanes, so there's some of the state parks are still shut down. So, but I'll be going to Texas soon. And Texas, you could get some serious border dark skies down there. Let me tell you something. When you go from a populated city like me, like being in New York, you don't, when you come down south, you're like, what? You're in, like, you could get to a Bortle 5 and you're like, what? Because you see all these stars and the planet, everything like that popping up. But then you go down to a Bortle 3 and you go like, whoa, now you get spoiled with that. Now when you go back to your Bortle 5, you're like, oh, this is nice, but, you know. So, oh yeah, it'll get clearer. It's basically what this does is it's because of a smart telescope. It's actually doing, like, I used to do it with my DSLR camera, and you take long exposures, and then what this is doing is taking a photo every 10 seconds. Then it checks out the photo, and if it's up to par, right, with the system, the internal system, it'll stack that. That's what astrophotographers do, right? What they do is that's why you got to give them a lot of credit. Like if ever you want to follow somebody, like let's go to, I don't know about YouTube, anything like that, but on X, go to Andrew McCarthy. Okay, Andrew McCarthy. The guy's, I love his passion. He's phenomenal. Like just now, the system just told me the last image it discarded because there must have been wind or something, and it didn't feel that the stars or anything was sharp enough. So it just went, threw it out. So it'll take another 10-second exposure, and it'll keep doing that. And every time it gets one that it thinks is satisfactory, it combines it on top of the other prior photos, and it starts removing the noise, and it's called stacking. But this is a more basic stack. Once it's all done, because I'm also saving the individual TIFF files, which means I'll be able to do it manually. Anyhow, Andrew McCarthy, the guy has, I think he's down in Texas, but he has his rigs, right? And he takes phenomenal photos. The guy's just phenomenal, but he'll probably be the first to tell you that a lot of photos you take, let's say without a telescope, when you take it with the DSLR cameras, everybody sees what you see behind these beautiful things of Andromeda and everything. When you go to look at the photos, they're dark. You don't see anything. You have to stretch it all out. It's complicated, and I'm still learning a lot with the post processing. Oh God, I really got to focus on that. But that's how these astrophotographers, such as Andrew McCarthy, and that have such beautiful images, because not only do they capture it, and not only are they under great skies, like like the least amount of polluted skies. They know what they're doing in post-processing. You know, it's a lot of work. It's a passion. So me, while I'm building up my other stuff, and like I said, more focus on the house. For now, I got this thing because I just want to take some images. That's it. And eventually, once the 14-inch Dob gets here, then is when I get in trouble and start spending money on things. And Texas sky is spectacular, depending where you are, of course. You know, I looked up this spot in Utah. I just put in a search for property, and I said, what was the search terms? First, I looked up how many acres are in 1 square mile. I could be wrong, but I think it's something like 656 acres. So I looked it up. I did a search for property like that. And wouldn't you know, there's property out there like that. You know, I would love to buy that and just plop the rigs and everything, all the equipment, build a little observatory right there, and just bring everything right in the middle. No house, no nothing, everything, just a road in and a road out for me. As far away from light pollution as possible. Yeah, Texas is... I'll be going down there soon. I want to go down there for SpaceX and all that. But it depends where you go down there. And when I was in Texas a few times, it wasn't for astrophotography or astronomy, anything to do with space. It was there building server farms, networks, and everything. And I was in Houston. And to anybody out there that sees this, I love Texas. I love the people in Houston. But man, I didn't enjoy going to Houston. It was so friggin' humid. I never experienced humidity like that at midnight before. Even the rats that were running around looked like they were sweating. You know what also with Bortle? Yeah, no, I plan on it. With the, I'm going to get some nice images. But it's like, you know, they have a place, well, they got a few places. But these guys down in Texas, I think they're Bortle 1 skies, dark skies. They actually allow you, if you have a setup, a rig, you could actually mail it to them, and they install it in their telescope farm that people send it to them from all around the world, and you could connect to your telescope from home, and you can take images in dark skies. Now, some say, yeah, but I'd rather do it myself. The thing is, let's say you are somebody that lives in a Bortle 678, 5678, or an N9. It's hard. It's very tough. You could do it. It's just tough. You could send your telescope, mail it, and for I think like lowest price is $149 a month. They'll install and set up your rig, and I guess they send you the info in a portal or whatever. You log in, and then you just pick what you want, and you start imaging on the dark skies, Bortle 1 skies. Yeah, that's the deal. Like the ranches out there. Let me tell you, down here in South Carolina. Now, here's the thing. What's crazy? where I said mine is probably Bordeaux 5 now. It was 4. I'm about, I'm right by Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is, it could be Bordeaux 5 on some nights. It could be Bordeaux 4 or 6 or 7 because it gets crazy over there. You know, it's a lot going on, Myrtle Beach. But right where I am, it gets a little darker. But when I'm driving, and I'm talking about like I'm going out maybe 60, 70, 80 miles, let me tell you something. It gets dark. It gets real dark. I haven't checked it to see where it actually is, but so right now this image, this exposure is only 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Even though it's been taking pictures longer, a bunch of images is thrown away because it said, nah, it's too shaky. I was gonna move to Texas. Still might. Excuse me for that. Let me take a quick peek here. Okay. Why is that so showing that? That is the weirdest thing, man. All right, let me see. I gotta put something on here. Give me a second. All right, I'm gonna try to do this again. Text. Let me see. And M31, which is Andromeda, and the text is going to be live imaging of the Andromeda galaxy. All right. Oops. Hopefully that looks better. Wait, it'll get smaller. It'll get smaller. I make it smaller. Oh man, how cold is it there in Minnesota right now? Why is it coming all the way to frig over from there? Let me see something here. Here we go. I make it even smaller. It's going to get a little smaller because I didn't realize I had it coming off the other edge of the screen right underneath me. I want it to be just in that middle area. Super hot. I know. That's crazy. I had it, you know, down here in South Carolina, the temperature in the summertime, the real feel could be about 110, sometimes 114, but it usually feels around 100, 104, something like that. The winters are usually mild here. But this last couple of weeks, boy, let me tell you, but see, being from New York, it didn't affect me too much. I just was mad that I couldn't do what I wanted to do with the equipment. And wait, I forgot to transition this. Oops. See, when I go into OBS studio mode, I always forget to transition to make whatever I change go over. So you'll see it'll get smaller in a second. It was 56 below. That's brick. Let me tell you. That's brick. And I a week ago or so, it was one morning it was 14, and I think the lowest it got was here. What the real feel was 4, something like that, 4 or 5. That's down here, man. So, and we got snow, which that I don't give a crap about. I know a lot of people down here loved it. They don't see snow much. I think the last time it snowed was 2018. I was born and raised in New York. I've had enough snow in my life. When you have to shovel that and clean up a house and everything like that and shovel out so you could park in your cars and all that stuff, snow tied real fast of that. All right, I'm going to, very cold for South Carolina, definitely. I almost didn't bring my coat down here, my winter coat. I'm glad I did. I never thought I'd be using a North Face in South Carolina. The snow came in. Well, when it snowed the other day, I forgot the exact date, but it doesn't matter. It started at night. We snowed for around 12 or 13 hours. I think we only got a couple of inches. But you see, down here, see in Minnesota, they have the infrastructure. Just like in New York, the sanitation department, they have the plows, the spreaders, you're prepared. Down here, and I don't blame them, they don't have the infrastructure. I mean, it hardly ever snows down here. Last time was, I think, 2018. That would be a big expense and a waste to just buy all this equipment and have it and let it just sit for years. But on the flip side of that, the streets don't get plowed. So you got to depend on melting. So what happened was it stuck around because it didn't go above freezing after it snowed. So any little melt from the sun refroze right away, and there was nothing but accidents and black ice everywhere. So it was crazy. It was crazy. The snow finally disappeared today. I haven't seen any of it. But the last 2 days were drivable in the evenings. The few days before that, in the morning, danger. Super danger. But it was a quick storm. It only came in. We got like snow, and I think we didn't get more inches because we were on that borderline where we got more freezing rain. But it snowed. It snowed. I thought let me see something here. No, I thought oh, here we go. Watch this. Downloads. All right, I'm gonna do something here. Real quick, I'm gonna add an image to show you from my security, one of my security cameras. That was my car. This was my car overnight. So that was the car after the snowstorm here in South Carolina. So let me get that out of there. All right. South Carolina, we had snow. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this run for a while. And I'm going to jump off the mic for a few in the camera and shut my mouth. So first things first, let's hide the camera. Let's mute the audio, and I'll talk to you in a few. Nightmare. Excuse me. What up there? Good to see you. And look at high vibes, Toodles. How's it going? I'm letting this go for a good while. You know what? The screen that I have it on over here, no wonder why I'm getting pissed off with it, because the screen I have it on, I gotta mess with the colors on it because it looks so dull. Good to see you too. Oh man, I'm trying to think of what other one should I do the image of. I'm gonna let Andromeda go for a while. This image is only a 14.5 minute exposure. So I want to try to let it go for about an hour. So I'll see y'all. Give me a minute. Hold on. I don't even know if y'all heard me. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take this off studio mode, because every time I do something, I enable something or change something. If I don't hit transition, I don't know if it goes over if you hear me or not. So. Hey, Josh. You know what gets me? Um, like what you said, 2.5 million-year-old photo. Oh wait, let me mute this. I don't know where I got that sound on there. Get rid of this. Um, he's like, when everybody's saying like Betelgeuse is supposed to go supernova, and that's millions of light years away, and we look up at Orion and all that, and Betelgeuse may be gone. It may have went supernova a long time ago, right? We're just looking at light that's just reaching us from millions of years ago. That, you know, I feel you. I struggled with it when I was in New York, and it's because the skies were bad, all the pollution, everything. I used to have a hard time locating it. Down here, I see it, but this time of year, right now, this image is, um, it's going down now. So usually, like, let me get my thoughts together here. So let's say in October, November, if I look out like towards northeast or whatever, Andromeda will rise. I just say rise. You know what I mean? Um, and I could capture her good, but then it's meridian, and now this is on the south side now. So like this is already it's done its rotation and it's going down, right? So that's why it's faced that way. It's not like it looks like it's flipped because it is flipped. I wish you could see it though. It's like even Orion. I could have captured Orion, but at 8 p.m. it's already high up, so it's gonna be close to it flipping. So the radiation it just won't look good for imaging. But tonight I'll do this one. I think if tomorrow night's clear, I'm gonna see whichever one. I'll probably do Bode's Galaxy. I like Bode's Galaxy. You can see the spiral arm so pretty, really, really beautiful. You, you, you know what? I gotta put my camera back on, John. That's something I've said so many times. When everybody like every satellite somebody sees, they say it's a UFO or something like that, and that's fine. I've been there, done that. But there's one thing that I would say that I would bet my life on without any proof whatsoever is that there's life out there. And because, like you said, unfathomable, the distances. Our galaxy alone is 100,000 light years across. Just our galaxy. And they believe there's trillions of galaxies with hundreds of billions of stars in each. It's just mind boggling. It's mind boggling. I said it earlier that that they said Andromeda, this galaxy, and our galaxy, the Milky Way, are going to collide in a few billion years. The distance is so vast that there's a possibility they could cross through each other and not one star collide. That's how far apart it's just like that best word, unfathomable. I didn't pronounce that good at all, but you know what I mean. When we look at these stars, we are totally looking in the far, far distant past. And just an update, This right here, this exposure is 20 and a half minutes. I'm gonna try to let this go because I thought I connected the power pack, but I must not have, and I don't want to do it now because if I'll start shaking the telescope. But I'm gonna let the battery go down. It's at 87 right now, so that should last. I want to try to get this as an hour exposure. That's what I'm looking for. And then tomorrow we'll do ones and it'll get better and better. Exactly, nightmare. That's why I'll see tomorrow if the skies cooperate. I'll try to capture the Bode's galaxy. That one is that'll give you the pinwheel look, where you see the arms like swinging out. So we'll see how that goes. Exactly, Josh. And the thing is, and I'm sorry, I think I said John before. I'm sorry about that. Josh, it's true, but think about it 250 million light years. We can't even get a light year away. Hey, there she is. There's my girl. Oh, Arlene, by the way, thank you so much. I love your cards. Your card came days ago. I'm a terrible friend. I know. I don't do it intentionally. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful card. I love you, sweetheart. All right, now I'll get my ugly mug. I have what they call a face for radio. Yeah, and I love it because anything I get from you, anything I receive, it's I know it's made from the heart, but it's handmade. You make it. I love that. I have to get a new monitor. I have a oh, this monitor is frustrating. I have four monitors here, and only one looks the best. I think I'm gonna buy one of those OLEDs. Anybody out there recommend a monitor, 27 to 32 inch that does not break the bank, but where it's like super crisp and clear? None of that faded look or this and that. Something that looks proper. What's Josh saying? Exactly, and we see Voyager 1 as a major distance, but it will take 18. You, you know, it is. That's true. It's funny because you're talking about points that I've always talked about, so that's why I'm like, perfect. You're a perfect person to talk to, Josh. You know, think about it, right? And it truly didn't go truly interstellar yet, even though they consider it, right? Because it still has to get past that Oort cloud. But leaving in 1977 and traveling at 35,000 miles per hour for 43 years, and it finally made it out of our solar system. 43 years straight traveling at 35,000 miles per hour. That right there is mind boggling. And that's not even close to being a light year. Not even close. Yeah, let me see. Did the alien I made for survive the move? If not, I will make. Oh, I have it. I have it. It's in perfect shape. Believe it or not, Arlene, with everything I've packed in bins and put here and there, I've always made sure that matter of fact, I'm gonna put that up. I have it. It's my other. I have it because I didn't want it to get messed up, but I always put it. It's always on the top, protected. I made sure of that. I'll put it up. I'll put it up right behind me. Spaces. I did a video, and this ain't trying to plug it to make anybody look, but I think it might have been the first video I uploaded on this channel. And I've gone into the numbers and talking about like the distance of 1 light year is 5.88 trillion miles. 1 light year. Our closest star is what, four years away? Proxima Centauri. Yeah, Josh, I feel the same way. Yeah, I mean, and if we do, it'll be thousands of years from now, because we're think about it. The moon's what, 240,000 miles away, give or take a few thousand, and we having problems getting to the moon. We want to get to Mars, and I mean, we're a long way off. We're advancing, but let me see. Yep, you know how I know that was it? With that stupid blue shirt. Here's something in that video. It says, well, I'm saying it. The speed of light is 300,000 kilometers per second, or 186,000 miles per second is what the speed of light travels. Oh, wow. I forgot I did this. I went into, let me see something. Minutes, hours, and days. Man, I started getting into math on this thing. Yeah. Uh-huh. But yes, that's it, Arlene. The part is around 11, a little over the 11-minute mark is when I get into the speeds and everything. Artemis 2, you know, they changed it now. They updated it. Let me put this camera on for a minute. Artemis 2, now I believe they're talking about 2028. Um, I'll be honest with you. I don't understand it. I don't want to start getting into the whole moon landing stuff. But if we landed on the moon with computer systems that basically are the equivalent to Raspberry Pis and Arduinos, actually, some can argue the Raspberry Pis are stronger than what we had then, way stronger. And aluminum. If we went back then, how is it even possible that we can't get there right now? You know, and why? And the thing is, to be honest with you, I think we can in a heartbeat. I just think it's everything's political and money. That's it. Remember the Artemis 1? Before that test flight, how many, um, I can't think of the word right now, where they just said, nope, they called off the launch. About 3, 4, 5 times in a row. Each time costs millions and millions, like 30 million or something like that. With the few, when they asked then NASA Administrator Bill Nelson, anytime they asked him about the cost, he would start invoking thing about people that die, like bringing emotion into it to change the subject. That's all they keep doing is money, 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 money. I know, Josh. That's that's the head scratching stuff when you start looking at it. I mean, like, when I look at this image, you know, you can't help but think of our galaxy, right? The Milky Way. And like you were saying earlier, somebody looking back, it's like, why? Like, I hate when I hear that. Nah, we're probably alone, or maybe they already blew themselves up. Like, don't know. People don't know just because they have some 10, 12 degrees from different colleges and this and that, they believe they're smarter and that, you know, what they say, the consensus goes. It could be like you said right now, even though this is from millions, billions of years ago, the friggin' light hitting us. But it could be somebody right now doing what we're doing right now, taking an image of our galaxy, you know? We don't know. But space is too friggin' big, man. It's too big. And I'm not saying that we, like, I'm not saying that there's another exact duplicate of us. Can there be? There's just trillions of galaxies with hundreds of billions of stars in each galaxy. I can't think that it's not possible. It can be, you know. Are we special? Absolutely. A lot had to be right for us, for the Earth to survive and everything. But maybe we're special right here in our part of the galaxy, but I think there's a lot more special out there. Look at all the exoplanets we found in our galaxy in the last several years. We're up to, well, over 5,000 we found so far. And a lot of them are in that so called Goldilocks zone. That I definitely believe that in our solar system, I believe we're alone in the solar system here. And yes, there could be leftover because I do think I think Mars was like Earth. And eventually they lost their atmosphere. That's what I believe because the similarities when you look at it, especially when, oh, I forgot the name of our little helicopter we had over there. Um, looking down, you see the riverbeds. If you look at it, compare it to Earth, some of our dry areas, couldn't tell which was which. So I think it takes a special kind of arrogance to assume we are the only created sentient. Totally agree. Totally agree. You know, I think what happens too is, I think some people don't think about it really too much. They don't, it doesn't bother them because they're more, and you can't blame them. A lot of people are just more involved with what's going on in their immediate life. But when you think about it, I don't think a lot of people truly grasp how big, and big is such a little word for this, the universe is. You know, I mean, when you start thinking about it, if you're somebody that's into this, like we all are, it's. I did a show once with the guys, and I think I titled it. Uh, what? It was something like, um, "Where did nothing come from?" or something to the effect that I told the guys pre-show backstage. I said, "You're gonna get a headache from this," and was laughing about it. And halfway through the show, I remember his face aggravated. He said, I do have a headache right now because we were talking about, um, you know, the Big Bang. The Big Bang is actually a theory, right? I'm not saying no, that's not where it is, but let's just go with the Big Bang. Wait, let me just see something. Agreed. And like I said earlier, amongst all other galaxies, it's mathematically impossible for there not to be life anywhere else. Trillion observable galaxies, all with trillions of solar. Exactly. And those trillions of galaxies, like the key word there is observable. What we see, you know, like we don't know what's beyond that red shift and all that. We they make educated guesses, and the consensus all around, they go, yeah, that must be what happened, right? It's kind of like saying there wasn't really a sophisticated civilization before the Sumerians, and then all of a sudden Gobekli Tepe pops up, right? You don't hear much about that now, right? So, but just think about this for a second. And this is the one that gets me. Yes, I'm going to go there for a second. With what happened before the Big Bang, right? Let's just say, like, this is the thing that gave people headaches. And it gave me a headache plenty of times. Nothing. Everything had to start from somewhere. All right? And I don't know why. I can't accept that there was nothing, and somehow some atoms, okay, but the atoms had to come from somewhere. And no matter what somebody says, that had to start, because if nothing, like, I can't even get the words out. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm saying. Hey, Brandon, it's awesome now, buddy. You just showed up. It's I don't, I can't even get the words out how to articulate it. It's, if there's nothing, how does anything come from nothing? Now you're going to get the people, the scientists or whatever, that'll say, well, there wasn't truly nothing. No, you don't know that. You're just theorizing. You don't know that. Nobody knows that. Because if they did, they'd come up with an answer or something real good. All right? It's just, if you really think about it, let me check the battery on this. Oh, there's plenty to go. Okay, what's our exposure at? We're at 32 minutes and 40-second exposure. That's not bad. to be honest with you. Um, I remember what you said before, Josh. You mentioned something about, what was it? Maybe we're not, when we were talking about traveling distances and all that, you said maybe we're not supposed to get past something or whatever. That's what I feel with that. Think about this, right? When you got a clear head, and I'm not judging you. I don't know if you're clear headed right now at this moment, but when you have time by yourself, really go into that and think about it. And you probably have already. Like, okay, before the Big Bang or whatever started this universe, even if even if there was a black hole that spit out some stuff and created this universe, no matter what happened, even prior to this universe, it had to start somewhere. Everything. It just didn't just happen, you know? And that's the, when you start going backwards like that, you get to a point that, like, you draw this block that you, like right now you can see how I'm acting, like I'm starting to fumble over my words. I can't even think because I try to, and you get stuck, you know? There you go, Paul. That's true. Because what do they say, the dinosaurs, what, ruled the earth, over 120 million years, something like that, and we get a rock comes and wipes them out, but they were on this planet for 100 and something million years. And who knows, right? Now, this is going to sound stupid, but because the earth, as old as it is, who knows if there was a time that it was like land of the lost, like there were people in the dinosaurs. We don't know, because with any kind of cataclysms that bury stuff real deep and we just haven't struck that yet, who knows? We may find something 100 years from now, tomorrow, right? But it's true though. I think there's been a bunch of extinctions on this planet with people. If something happened tomorrow, just saying, like, I'm not trying to put a whammy on it, but like, I mean, a massive, like, where you remember that Randy Wilson talked about with these mega floods, whatever he called them, and everything. Imagine something to that effect with solar storms, everything, something that wipes things out. You know, if everything is buried, and I mean like molten rock, ice, everything like that, we, the next civilization, if they pop up a million years later, they may never even know about us at all. You know, they may never know about it. Maybe if they go to the moon and they find some stuff up there, it could be that, you know, it could be that bad. I remember when we were talking earlier about, or I was, about Gobekli Tepe. You know, there's a lot of things that happen that we don't know, right? We're still stuck on the pyramids. And I personally think they were there way before. Who knows how many times? But again, that's just going back to just us and Earth. I mean, I tell you what, I'm glad I stopped smoking many years ago. And I don't mean cigarettes, because it's the kind of stuff that I could see myself sitting out in the yard for 3 weeks straight, Probably losing 90 pounds just thinking about something on a trip. Very clearly, we were not made to understand eternity. We can't even wrap our heads around a light year. That's true. But a light year, exactly. What was it that I said before in that video I made? So it takes the light from the sun to reach Earth 8 minutes, right? And light travels at 186,000 miles per second. And I think the sun is 93 million miles away from Earth. Oh, I don't even want to start doing the math. See, my mind's going already. See what you did, Josh? Let me see something here. Where are we on this exposure? We're almost at 37 minutes. I don't like this. Yeah, I feel you, Josh. I feel you. You know, and let me ask you something, Josh. Have you ever seen that series, The Expanse? You ever see that? Now, I know that's sci-fi and everything, but if you haven't, you should check that series out. It went for 6 seasons, but it was pretty cool. And imagine that's probably where we're headed for within the next 1,000 years, something like that. Like us going back and forth to Mars and stuff like that. Maybe Jupiter's moon or something. But that's about it. I don't. I mean, it took the Voyager. I think it was what, Voyager 1. It took it 43 years traveling 35,000 miles per hour for it to finally leave the solar system. If that's not mind-boggling, I don't know what is. You know. No, but Josh, that's cool though. I mean, that's cool. Like that's why I like doing this, because I've always always loved astronomy since I was young and everything. So I just like sharing also. Like I like watching other streams when they're doing so. I love watching it. And I love people that are interested and get into it. You know, we find ourselves a lot looking down a lot, right? Like at our phones. And I'm not trying to preach, but looking up, it's just amazing up there. And no, don't watch. Yeah, Ancient Aliens. Oh, what's that guy's name? Oh, not the hair dude. Is his name Childress or whatever? I don't know. He's a guy, dude with the glasses. It's like if a friggin' paper, like if this pen, if I take this pen and go like this, he'll look and see that pen. He'll go, it's a UFO. It's probably Ancient Aliens. They probably did like everything's a UFO to the dude. So I stopped watching it because they got too crazy. But The Expanse, in a nutshell, it was a TV show, and it's about Giorgio. Yeah, David Childress. That's it, Arlene. That's the guy that everything is. And Giorgio with his heat miser hair. See, that's what I mean, Arlene. That was probably like a Bortle 1 sky. When that's a true dark sky. That's what I'm looking for. That's where I'm looking to get a house. That's what's been very tough with me searching for a house is it's not just about, oh, there's no flood zone or making sure make sure there's no HOA, all that stuff. I need to make sure it has dark skies. And I have to make sure that when I move and buy a house there, that it's not going to be where, oh, they're going to be building something a mile away in a year from now and it's going to start polluting the. I want to make sure. So I'm going to have to buy farmland or something. I don't know where I can just I'm going to have to figure out and get the money to buy a few hundred acres. I don't know. But with, let me see what is, let me bring up this other window. That's so small. Oh yeah, in Miami, that's polluted skies. Yeah, yeah. I know that pain, Josh. I lived in New York City most of my life. I know the pain. But just to finish on something real quick, that show I told you about, The Expanse. It's about we got Earth. We populated the moon. Mars has been populated by humans. And they got these people they call belters that the humans, they live by the asteroid belt. It sounds stupid the way I'm saying it, but the show with the graphics and they just did a great job with it, and that's something pretty cool. You see some cool space stuff with that. Montana, Idaho. Yes, also in Texas, there's places, but I want to go to Montana, Wyoming, and I heard the weather, the winds, and every. Oh, I could deal with cold, but I just want dark skies. I'll tell you what, if I had like a Bortle 1, 2, I wouldn't probably be here right now talking. I'd be probably out in the back laying on something, just staring at the sky all the time. Wyoming's beautiful, isn't it, Arlene? All right, Nightmare. Sorry, I know I've been talking. I've been jabbering a lot, but I love it. Let me see where we're at. We're at a 40-minute and a half exposure. All right, let me drop this for a minute. I'll be right back. All right. Be right back. Yes, sir. April 13th, 2029. And that's on Friday the 13th also. Sheena, there you go. You were just saying, I missed you, Ron, the other day. And I told you I'll see you soon. I miss you too, baby. Good. That's true, Josh. Let me drop this a second. Let me ask you a question, and to anybody. How does it look on your screen? Because this screen, I have multiple screens here. One of them looks good. On my phone, it looks really good. But on this screen, it just looks washed out. I don't like it. Does it look okay, the image? Or like, I mean, is it decent? Is it blurry? Because this monitor, I'm about to throw it out the window. Let me tell you something too about that Apophis. I don't know if it's Apophis or Apophis. I think it's Apophis. But that thing that's around, they say estimated about 200 feet diameter. That thing's supposed to skim past us at about 19,000 miles. And our geo satellites are at 23,000 miles. So that thing's coming a few thousand closer than some of our satellites. Yeah, I'm letting it go, Paul. It's the exposure's at 43 minutes now. I just want to let it go as long as possible to see how it starts. You know how it is. The longer you let it go, the better it gets. Yeah, right. No, but and what I mean by the haziness, you know how if like each monitor looks different. You can have one that's sharper, even if you change the settings or whatever. Different brand monitors here. But the one on my left, I have a sharp picture. One on my right, it looks a little washed and it keeps bothering me, but I'm like, maybe that's not what they see. Because looking at it on my phone, well, connected directly to the telescope, it looks nice. It's getting there. I'm also saving the individual fits images. They'll probably be, I don't know, they'll probably be somewhere between 500 to 1,000 images. I'm going to process that too. I'm going to attempt to. I'm not good at post-processing astro images. I get frustrated. That's the thing, Josh, the keyhole. Yeah, but they're not sure though. Some people have said that. The thing is with what's so if anybody watching doesn't know, when Apophis, I'll just say Apophis, is going by pass by Earth. There's like this 600 mile-ish area that they're calling a keyhole. That if Apophis passes within that 600-mile area, then there's a good chance in 2036 it'll slam into us. But if it doesn't pass through that keyhole, then they say we should be clear. You know? They're pretty good with the math, you know, so I know what you're saying, Josh. Like, they're pretty good with the math. What I worry about, I'll tell you, that's why I'll be talking about the Neo Surveyor soon. because that'll be going up. Neo Surveyor is like, I always called it the James Webb, but for asteroids. The problem we have are the asteroids that are coming from the direction of the sun. Those are the ones we have big problems detecting. That's the only thing. That's what really worries me, is that you see a lot, and this happens a lot. Like a meteor enters our atmosphere, and we only seen it like an hour prior, and it does it. I get scared that that's going to happen with a big one. Y'all hear the news story about them spotting a new asteroid object, but it turned out, yeah, they had to change it because they had it down, they named it and everything, and it turned out that it was the Tesla that Elon sent up with the maiden flight, like that. So, and yeah, Josh, the damage. I used to update, and I'm gonna be doing that again. Update on the asteroids, like the close approach ones, this and that. I used to do streams on it. I used to do videos on it. I don't know why. I was just trying to keep people apprised, like just be aware of this. And when I say that, there's not much you can do about. There's nothing you could do about it, but there are some things. Like anyone that hits us doesn't mean it has to be an extinction level event, right? But it can blow and lock down everything. There's no electricity, all this, everything. Be worst case scenario without death. You should be prepared a little bit. Otherwise, you're gonna have a very serious suffering death. So. Yeah, it wasn't a joke, Paul. Let me find that. What was it? Let me see. Let me bring this up. Let me make this big right here. And then I'll just say F. Full screen it, and let me just see something. Window capture. I'm going to show this real quick. Y'all see this, right? So this was astronomers just deleted an asteroid. Because it turned out to be Elon Musk's Tesla Roadster. January 2nd, the Minor Planet Center at Harvard announced the discovery of an unusual asteroid designated 2018 CN41, first identified and submitted by citizen scientists. It was notable because it came less than 150,000 miles from Earth. Classified as a near-Earth object. Less than 17 hours later, it was deleted from its records. It turned out to be an object. It was somehow Elon gets involved with it. Oh man! So that was the dealio. Yes. Wait, and remember what he said with the Starship? That I forgot what movie, he made it pointy because of a movie like that. He said it on the Joe Rogan show. Like, it must be nice to have only a few $100 billion at your disposal, so you could, I remember as a kid playing with GI Joes and little rockets like this. He gets to play with real 400-foot rockets. I'm gonna let this go. I don't know how much longer it's gonna take. It's saying that it's at a 48-minute exposure. I want to go for an hour. So let's see what happens. Because right now, let me bring up Stellarium. Where is it in the sky? Yeah, she's getting pretty low. Hopefully I have it positioned out there that I could capture it for the next 12. I could probably catch the triangulum. What else do we got up here? Yeah. Orion's all the way up. It's flipping right now. What I'll do on the on Halloween, on Valentine's Day, we'll image the Broken Heart cluster. I was gonna do Orion, but you know what it is? Is everybody that's like everybody does Orion and Andromeda, but Andromeda, this is personal for me. I've been trying to get this image for a long time. I'm always running into issues. So I figured tonight's the night. But Orion, yeah. Let me tell you, like I said earlier. Wait, let me see what you guys are saying. Have you heard the story of how a man who claimed ownership of an asteroid fined NASA a parking ticket for landing a probe on it? No. Now, I don't know if you're joking or not, but it wouldn't surprise me this day and age, I'll tell you that. I'm going to do an update too, you know, on Psyche 16, 16 Psyche. That's the asteroid that supposedly has a lot of gold. Let me check on that. Let me see. Yeah, 433 Eros asteroid. Not a joke. Oh Jesus. Thank you. Let me see something. 433 asteroid. Let's look that up. So So, man sues NASA for landing on his asteroid. Greg Nimitz. Near Earth, I swear. Come on with this crap. Envision humanity's future among the stars, but he also believed individuals could stake their claim on cosmic real estate. sent them a celestial parking ticket for $20. This freak out of here, man. Like I said, that it just doesn't surprise me anymore. Where are we at? Our exposure is currently at 50 minutes and 40 seconds. I can't wait to download the FITS files and see how see how I'm going to process this. I'm going to try to process it in Cyril. Wait till I bring this down with me, because like I said, I'm in an astronomy club, and we meet once. By rights, I would have loved to have gone down there tonight because it's a new moon. And something tells me they're down there, but usually once a month at one of the state parks, we get permission and we go in there. It's like a Bortle 3, and I want to bring this with me there. It's not a true dark sky, but a Bortle is. It's nice. What's up, Grandmaster? How you doing, bud? All right, so how this is going down, GM, is this is taking an image of Andromeda every 10 seconds and then enhancing it and stacking it. Sometimes if it gets windy, the last image it took, it may dump it. So that's why it's taking, but it's taking an image every 10 seconds and stacking it. So although it may look the same when you're just looking at it, over time you can see the difference. Like even if you went back and like pulled back the video, like rewind it and just dragged it like that, you would see the differences. Let's see. Let me see. I got him a meteorite one. It's so cool. Wait, I bought my father's a pretty awesome pen for Christmas. A pen that floats due to magnets. That's sweet. I like that. Oh, you got it, Jim. No problem, but yeah, I got to figure out how I'm going to do this going forward. I have to not just put a little scrolling text on the bottom saying live imaging, because, you know, I have other plans. I just got excited because tonight it wasn't below 32 degrees, so I knew the telescope would be working okay, so I brought it out there. You know what's fun? These things. Ever use one of these? Wait. Guys ever use one of these? A sky map, a star map, where your position is and everything, how you can look up at the sky. It's like a guide. That's what I'll do. One night I'll show this and how to use this. Believe it or not, it comes in handy. It's called the Nuvian pen. Well, it what it does is, it does actually, the temperature does affect it in itself, especially when with the dew, right? So it's funny because a lot of people, right? We look at the weather online and we check the temperatures and everything. We usually pay attention to how hot it is, the humidity, stuff like that. A lot of people don't look at the dew point. When the dew point and the temperature get to the same, that's when you know, when you get all that condensation, all the sweating and all that, that affects it. The cold weather does, especially when you have stuff out there, because if I have it all the way out in the back and I don't have a cord running, so it has a battery, lithium batteries, they don't do that great in cold weather. You know what I mean? So that affects performance of it. But the only good thing is it has a built-in dew heater, and I have a dew filter on it, so that kind of helps it out. But yeah, cold weather definitely can affect your imaging. I gotta look up that pen. What does he say? A Novian pen, Interstellar Edition. I'm looking that up right now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm buying that. I'm gonna save this because I'm gonna be looking this crap up. I got a whole bag full of meteorites that I bought from different places. Um, I even did a giveaway, I think last year or the year before, and I gave away meteorites pieces. But you know what, Josh, when it comes to the weather, like when it gets down really, really, really cold, yeah, it starts affecting your electronics and all that. But there's rigs that people have out there that nah, they could just, as long as you have a dew heater and you could prevent that, that you could pretty much be solid. The only issue I'm having is that I think I didn't charge my power pack enough because I connected it to the telescope and it was good all the while. Then I noticed that I don't see it charging anymore, the telescope. So that means my power pack probably died. So if it was really cold out, I would have probably had to end the live ready because the battery would have drained faster. But let me see, what is the temperature here? It says right now it's 42 and the real feel is 43 and it's clear out. So that's good. That's why right now it's got 70% battery left. And I got about 6 more minutes till it's an hour exposure. That's right, I did, right? Arlene, I sent you the little meteorite pieces. I have them somewhere around. I used to carry them around in my pocket. It's amazing. It's like, you see that story from, let me see if I can find it. A man uses media as doorstop. Let me see some if that's it. It was just something recently. Well, it's an older story, but do you remember this? Watch. Remember this? Michigan man discovers his barn doorstop is actually a meteorite worth $100,000. I want to see if they have a picture here. Look at it. So this thing he was using as a doorstop in his barn for 30 years. And it turns out that when the man purchased the farm in 1988, he was told that the rock holding open the barn door was, in fact, a meteorite that the previous owners witnessed fall from the night sky in the 1930s. The rock created a hole in the ground when it fell to earth, and when the farmer and his son went out to recover the object in the morning, it was still warm. Yeah. So, let me see something here. Did you know what I should look up? Because you know what I hate here? Look, I don't monetize anything or whatever, but I just get sick when a video gets blocked or something because of some stupid copyright or like automatic claims that are made. It's not somebody watching for this stuff. It's just, anyway, look up, unless you've seen it already. Last week I seen a video of, hell with it, I'm going to look for it right now. Give me a second. Ring doorbell captures meteorite slam into ground. Watch this, right? Let me see something here. I don't care if I get copyrighted. Let me share this window. Right. Now, let me make sure this fits. All right. What I want y'all to do is, right, watch watching this area here. See over here where I'm moving the mouse? Right around here. Just keep watching. This is a Ring doorbell. Check this out. Do y'all see that? I'm going to rewind it. That was actually a Ring doorbell capturing a meteorite slamming right there on the ground. So what I'm going to do is I got to find, I don't know, I got to open it back up. Anyway, that's all you got to do is doorbell cam captures meteorite slamming into thing. Now imagine, though, Arlene, glad it was tiny. Imagine that thing hitting you, though. You got to remember, the asteroids that usually close approaches or whatever, they usually average around 18 to 23,000 miles per hour. Some of them come from further, they're much faster. But imagine that thing. Even hitting you at 10,000 miles per hour. And you got to be unlucky, too. Remember that lady, she got hit in the head in Michigan, or it went through the barn and hit her in the knee or something like that? I'm serious, Josh, right? What do you tell your insurance company? What are we looking at here? We're at 56 minutes and 20-second exposure. Almost there. What time is it? Oh, man. We're getting there. She's getting real low in the sky. I think I should be able to capture the hour before it runs into like a building or something like that. Something blocks it. But she's looking pretty, and I can't wait to process it. A 10-inch chunk? Oh, man. Think about this, though, right? You know, when I used to always report on the close approach asteroids, and I would say that This one is passing 200,000 miles from Earth. It's a 30-foot asteroid, and people be like, yeah, that burns up, but that's not really that big. All right, let's do it this way. 30 foot. The average room, like a room or whatever, is usually 10 by 14 or 11 by 14 or whatever. So imagine that room you're in. Imagine you have a room that's 25 feet, 25 by 25. That room filled up with solid iron and nickel. Solid. That whole room you're in, that solid. 25 by 25. That thing traveling at 23, 24,000 miles per hour. Yeah, Paul. I would love to see the insurance agent's face when you say that you got hit by a meteorite. I'm serious. You look that up too. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a woman in Michigan. It could have been a man. That a freaking meteorite crashed through the barn or the house, and I think it hit her in the knee or something like that. Even one that it crashed through and it hit the guy's car, and I'm like, that thing, the earth is nearly covered all by ocean, and to fall through and hit you. Let me take a peek here. Yeah, the stacking software to reject some of them. Come on, baby, y'all could do it. Let me see. I'm glad it's coming to an end, because I'm just realizing to get up in 7 hours, and I'm not going to fall asleep for another hour. Let me see something. I'm sorry you see me like. Come on, baby. You can do it. I know you can. Yep, I just said another one. Good. It's getting there. It's getting there. Once I process it, it'll look much better. I think I seen that, Josh. I think I seen that. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what it is? Arlene, is my phone is actually occupied right now, connected. I didn't use my tablet. I used the phone tonight. So let me see. You're crazy. Let me see. Everyone call City Hall about. Oh my goodness. Imagine that. No, I just read them. I'm not going to repeat some of them, but thank you. Yeah. And I know what you're talking about, Josh, you and Paul, with that. Did you see? Did you guys see the call it a movie or a documentary? Aside from the dinosaurs, I forgot what it was called, but where that about the Chicxulub, when that was hitting it, if it hit now with people, I guess something like that. I could be mistaken. And there was a guy that was down in Mexico, and he was real close to it and everything. And then there was in Hawaii. There was like showing you survivors of it, and they were I can't think of the name, but it was good. It was an asteroid impact, and it was kind of like a documentary of how they would survive and everything. But I remember that pale light, seeing closer and closer, how they showed the dinosaurs looking up at it. I'm gonna try to find that name for you, but let me say something. Um, Sorry, I'm just looking to see if I could find that. You know what's scary? Give me a second, Stasha. No. You remember that movie, Don't Look Up? What's scary about Don't Look Up, not just the outcome, it's that people nowadays would actually do that. Like protests, like, like that was, I think that was so on point. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you check it out. Got a minute left for it to be an hour thing. The impact? Let me see something, Arlene. Let me see. Oh, wait, maybe it's... No, I can't find it. When I put in impact, wait, maybe this is it. Let me see something. It keeps coming up with deep impact, which is annoying. I don't know, but I remember seeing it, and I was like, it made me think of like if it's not an extinction level event like total, if you don't have nothing prepared or whatever, you're screwed. You know. Yeah, this movie it's one of those movies that has stories within the story, like of different people. Like it has these two that worked in some observatory, I think in Hawaii, something. So it shows you how they're coping after the impact. Show you this guy down in Mexico. I forgot what he was doing. That he ended up by himself with some. It's just it was a good movie, but it's like it makes you really wonder, like if something did happen like that and you find yourself surviving it, you're coming out into a hell. Like that's why when you see when got these billionaires spending like building these bunkers, right? These Armageddon bunkers and everything. And this is how I think about it. Unless they have supplies and air and everything down there to last them for the rest of their life, if they build it and have supplies that should last a year or 2, 3 years, when you come out, you're coming out to nothing. Like a living hell. So what are you gonna do? You're just prolonging your suffering? I guess it's like humans, like we go to survive, but you know. Brandon, I hear you, brother. I actually have to stay for a few more minutes myself because I have to get up in a few hours. And we reached the hour exposure mark. What you know what I'm gonna do? I'll tell you this. Um, Let me just. I'm going to tomorrow because what I do is when I let it do the stacking, I actually have the images. I make it save the images also, so I can do the processing myself also after. Like it does its own process. I want to do it myself manually. I'm gonna try to get to that tomorrow, and then when, depending on the skies, whatever I do, I'll show you how that came out. And if I can't get it done tomorrow, obviously the closest one. But tomorrow, if the skies are clear and weather cooperates, pick another one. Um, Maybe I'll let y'all pick whatever you want me to put it on. All right. So I don't just choose what I like. I don't mind. Maybe we'll even do the Horsehead Nebula over by Orion if it's not too up. So all right. All right, Paul. Thank you, Paul, Josh, Arlene, Brandon, Nightmare, all y'all. Ask everybody to stop by. Sheena. You know, I know this was a stream kind of like thrown together real fast, but I have plans and I'll be getting back into it. But I do want to share this stuff with all of y'all. So, but I want you to choose some stuff. So, hopefully, I'll see y'all tomorrow, right? And if I do it, it's probably going to be about the 7 p.m. mark. I want to try to get out as early, the darkest it gets over here, and the earliest possible, because certain ones are getting high in the sky fast. If I point the telescope at it without the way it's tracking on a AZ mount, the rotation kind of starts screwing it up once it hits the zenith, the meridian, like once it just flips over. So like you see Orion has Betelgeuse like here, and the three, if you're looking east, then as it's going up and it comes back, you see it like this. And you'll see, oh no, you'll see Betelgeuse here and the stars here from the, it's like just flips. Anyway, I'm just blabbering on now. I guess I'm getting tired. But I'll talk to y'all all soon, all right? I appreciate you all right? So, thanks for hanging out.